Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Shayna Cersei and I'm so excited to paint with you today. Today we're going to do another page in our watercolor journals and we are going to be painting some more flowers, some simple flowers as you saw in the thumbnail, and some greenery. I am going to be using my 6x9 watercolor journal. This is a Bauhong book and it has 100% cotton paper, 140-pound cold press. Let me fix my microphone, so sorry. And we are also using my Core mini palette, QOR by Golden. This is the mini palette. Has just the right amount of colors in it that I can pretty much mix anything I need from it. And also, I have a couple of brushes today. Today I'm using my size 12 and my size 6 silver black velvet brushes and my size 3 Princeton Aqua Elite brush, which I might not even use or need. We will see. And water, of course, and some clips to hold my journal pages down. So let's get started. I'm going to start with my size 6 brush. Get that nice and wet. I have a little extra space over here for some color mixing. I'm going to start with my sap green. I'm going to add some water to that. Add a little more water there. You know what? I'm going to put a little dollop of Phthalo blue green shade in here. Now these core paints are, especially in the mini palette, in this palette here, are super concentrated. A little bit goes a long way. So I have my color green that I want here. I'm just going to load up my brush, kind of twist it at the end to make a nice fine tip there. I'm going to start over here, this side, with just a very thin kind of line upward. And I'm going to be making like a fern like leaf structure here. So I'm going to put all these little lines that kind of run parallel to each other. They're about evenly spaced. They don't have to be perfect. And then as we get to the top, they're going to angle up even a little bit further. And now that we have those, I'm going to press my brush down, give it a little wiggle, and make slightly longer leaves that are connected there. And just find my way all the way up. I'm going to overlap a little bit up here. Nice long one at the top. Let's do the other side. So these are going to be parallel, or a mirror kind of image of what we did on the other side. Make these a little bit shorter. I made that one a little wider than I intended to. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. You can play with how you make these. Do you make them more rounded at the end and bring them down this way so that looks a little different than if I were to go up this way and make it more pointy at the end? Whichever you should decide to do. I think you want it to be consistent, unless you have another mastermind plan underway. But not trying to make anything too perfect. There we go. And we have our fern-like structure. I'm going to take a little bit more sap green. A little Payne's gray in there. I'm just going to go up the middle again, right over that line. Just make this slightly darker. Just put a little contrast on these little tiny connectors with this darker green. And most of the leaves are dry already, but if it hits one or two that are still a little damp and it bleeds in, that's quite all right. Actually prefer it. Just looking at some of the shapes of the leaves on this side. These are much more consistent than these. I was really playing around with the overall shape. For the other side, I was very consistent in my brush strokes. So you know what, this side is getting a slightly darker. I'm going over them again. Kind of even out the shape. There we go. I'm going to let that dry. I'm just going to leave it. I like this kind of two-tone unevenness. And then let's make some flowers. Some other leaf structures and flowers. That's a fun little fern there. All right, I'm going to do another long stem here. And then from this, I'm going to have kind of these droopy, and this clip is getting in my way. Oop, I got some green paint under there. Just going to angle this a little bit. I should have painted from left to right, but I never do. Put one here and one here. All right, let's do some blue flowers. So I have some phthalo blue green shade here, beautiful color, but I don't want it to be quite as, oh, you can't see that, sorry. Don't want it to be quite as blue, 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 blue. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little Payne's gray to it, and we're going to get this dark, dark navy. My water is so incredibly blue already, so you can see that my paints are very concentrated. So basically I just made a little puddle of water over here. I invited in a little bit of this color here to get a much lighter color, but now I have two shades that I can play with. So first I'm going to make these little droopy flower petals that come this way. Just going to do like 3 or maybe 4. Try to leave some separation. Wish I left a little more separation in that one, but that's okay. I'm going to pick up some of this darker color, drop it in. Few spots there, lovely. Back to our light color, petal, petal, petal. Do this one out this way. This one won't be as droopy. And there we go. And then I'm also going to put some more leaves with this, kind of coming off of this one. Very tip of my brush, I'm going to do tiny little leaves like this. Again, trying my best not to run into my already painted sections here. And these are just kind of made up. I'm sure they're very reminiscent of some kind of flower out there. Remind me their droopiness, a little bit of bleeding hearts. But they're just kind of made up. There we go. So we have our little fern-like flower or leaf over here. This cute little blue droopy flower. Let's do one more. We'll stick in this blue-green family because I like this color palette a lot. Maybe I'll add a little bit of yellow or go a little more sap green. I do have I do have nickel azo yellow in here. It's a very warm yellow, but would mix well with green, giving us a green gold kind of look. So let's work with that. Might come back and add a little something to these, but not quite ready yet. What were we going to do over here? Oh, let's make some bigger. We can do a petal flower. Do a nice wide petal that comes to a center. We're going to leave this center, this rounded area in the middle, completely empty. Some people prefer to build their petals like right next to each other, one after the other. Sometimes you like to, depending on if it's 4 or 5, place them in a certain order directly across from each other first. I'm going to give this a 6th one in here, just leaving some white space. And I'm going to come in with a little bit of this really dark color in the center. Just going to go around the center here, letting it bleed in. To some of those petals. And then I'm also going to come in with just some Payne's gray. So really dark Payne's gray. And we're just going to dab in the center here. We'll let that dry and then we'll put on an additional layer with a little bit more detail. But while that is drying, let's add some leaves to it. So let's do some larger leaves. Let's do like just one down this way. And I didn't even use my size 12. Pretty much did everything with the size 6 and a little bit with the size 3. So one big leaf there. I'm going to do another one off this way. I'm going to drop in some darker color. Let's do a completely darker leaf right here. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It went right off the page. And let's start again. Do another one up here. Nice big wide. I have a lot more room up here than I did down below. I've been pretty much painting almost exclusively in my journal these days and have kind of weaned myself off of larger pieces for a while, but now I'm itching to do like a full large piece. I'm just going back in with more concentrated sap green along my stem. I'm going to add some to these leaves up here. There we go. All right, let's give this a little bit of something. We're going to go back in with just the color of these broader leaves here that I had picked up. We're just going to do another layer of this in some texture. Start from the top and come down. And I'm kind of bouncing between thin strokes and then thicker areas of shadow. Going with this darker color around this middle area again. That was the darker blue I added a little bit of. And I'm going to switch back to my larger brush. And I'm just going to basically create some wet areas, I think. Oh, I still got some green in my brush. I love these silver black velvet brushes because they hold a lot of water and paint. I also hate them because they hold a lot of water and paint. There we go. All right, a couple of different things going on here. I feel like I should put something over here. Let's do, we have a lot of this dark blue left. Let's do like navy blue, berry twigs of some kind. They will dry a little later. We'll see a little more of the blueness out of them as they dry. I'm just going to put this one over here with another one right next to it. Maybe one down here. And then I'm going to take this green and I'm going to add a little magenta to it, which is going to make a beautiful brown. So I have Quinacridone magenta. Look at that lovely brown. Do that so we'll have a nice warm brown color over here too. We're going to go all the way up here and split 3 ways. I'm going to come actually over here and split there. It's a little thicker here. I'm going to put another one over there, another one there, and let's just come down a little further. There we go. So we have a nice cool, calm palette here. I got to play around with different flower types and different leaf structures. It's a nice calming day with our watercolor journals. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out the link to description, or I'm sorry, the description to links to supplies and materials. Go ahead and like this video, follow the channel, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. You can also share it with a friend or save it for later if you want to come back to it. And then check out that description. Oh, leave a comment. Leave a comment if you have a comment. I'd love to hear them. And I'll see you for next watercolor journal page very soon. Take care, y'all. Happy painting.